conventional plane of the era could manage. Sudden stops, right-angle turns, and speeds that seemed inconsistent with propeller-driven aircraft. A young woman named Anne, volunteering with the Aircraft Warning Service, later recalled in interviews the deafening roar of the guns and the way the searchlights locked onto a singular, glowing form that refused to fall despite direct hits. Fragments of 37mm and .50 caliber shells were collected across neighborhoods, proving the volume of fire was real. Yet no enemy wreckage, no parachutes, no oil slicks from downed planes washed ashore. The incident quickly became a media and political battleground. Isolationists and critics of the Roosevelt administration seized on it as evidence of military incompetence or deliberate fear-mongering to justify expanded war powers. Pro-war voices argued it highlighted the need for even stricter civil defense. Congressman Leland Ford demanded a full investigation, questioning how such a massive response could yield zero results. The press, still operating under wartime censorship guidelines but hungry for sensation, published conflicting accounts. Some stories claimed Japanese aircraft had indeed penetrated the defenses, but escaped. Others mocked the entire episode as mass hysteria. Amid the noise, a quieter thread of technical analysis emerged. Radar technology in 1942 was primitive, prone to ghost echoes from temperature inversions, flocks of birds, or even metallic chaff. Meteorological conditions that night included a marine layer and unusual atmospheric refraction that could create false returns. As weeks turned to months, the Battle of Los Angeles faded from headlines, overshadowed by real battles in the Pacific: Coral Sea, Midway, Guadalcanal. But it left behind a rich archive of declassified documents, oral histories, and physical evidence. The Army's Western Defense Command produced after-action reports that acknowledged the confusion, but attributed it primarily to unidentified aircraft, possibly of commercial origin, mixed with heightened alert status. No Japanese records, captured after the war, ever mentioned a raid on Los Angeles that night. Japanese naval logs and interrogation transcripts of captured officers revealed no such operation. The submarine shelling of the Elwood oil field remained their only confirmed West Coast strike. What made the event so astonishing was not just the absence of an enemy, but the way it exposed the fragile psychology of a nation at war. Los Angeles in 1942 was a boomtown of contradictions. It was home to the burgeoning aerospace industry, Lockheed, Douglas, North American Aviation, producing thousands of warplanes. Tens of thousands of migrants from the Dust Bowl in the South had flooded in for high-paying defense jobs. Japanese Americans, many born in the U.S., lived in enclaves like Little Tokyo, only to face mass internment following Executive Order 9066, signed just days before the battle. The night of February the 24th to 25th crystallized the fear that the war could reach American soil at any moment. It also revealed the limits of early warning systems and the dangers of trigger-happy responses in an age before sophisticated radar and jet aircraft. Delving deeper into the personal stories brings the night to vivid life. Consider the experience of a young artillery gunner named Robert, stationed near Inglewood. Fresh out of basic training, he had never fired in anger. When the order came, his battery unleashed round after round. In later years, he described the adrenaline, the acrid smell of cordite, and the surreal beauty of the illuminated sky. It looked like the 4th of July from hell, he recalled. Across town, a family of Mexican-American shipyard workers huddled in their small home in Wilmington as shrapnel pinged off their roof. The father, a veteran of labor strikes, later joined the Army himself, fighting in Europe. A Japanese-American teenager in Boyle Heights, whose family was soon to be relocated to Manzanar, watched the spectacle from his window, wondering if this was the beginning of the invasion that would seal their fate. Scientists and engineers later analyzed the event with post-war perspective. Some pointed to the possibility of Japanese fire balloons, high-altitude hydrogen balloons carrying incendiary devices that Japan did deploy against the U.S. mainland later in the war, though none reached Los Angeles in February 1942. Others speculated on experimental American technology gone awry or even atmospheric phenomena. In the 1950s and 1960s, as ufology gained traction, the Battle of Los Angeles was retroactively claimed as an early extraterrestrial encounter. Photographs from the Los Angeles Times showing searchlights converging on a dark shape fueled endless debate. Skeptics countered the object was likely a smoke cloud or illusion created by the lights and exploding shells themselves. The debate persists because the evidence